Hey there, guys. The trailer for the newest Avatar movie has come out. Avatar: The Way of Water. And I love Avatar. I absolutely adore this franchise, and I couldn't wait for this trailer. Now, over the years, I've been thinking about the future of this franchise a lot. And honestly, I do have some thoughts on some potential issues and plot holes. And I do have a series of potential issues that the franchise could face moving forward. I absolutely love the trailer, but this is not a review for the trailer. This is a discussion about the future of the franchise. And, well, James Cameron, if you're listening to me, well, hear me out, dude, because I have some thoughts for you. Now, the main issues that I'm going to talk about are narrative problems that the series may face, and number two, financial problems that the movie may face. Yeah, I know, like, the first movie made a ton of money, but wait till you hear me out, okay? Also, this is a message to my fan base. Chill, 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 chill. I'm not dropping anime content or Genshin Impact content. This is just a one-off. I really wanted to make this video, okay? I love Avatar. So, let's talk about the narrative issues that the series may face. Now, a lot of people have been talking about how the first movie kind of wrapped things up. Like, it left some loose ends, like, oh yeah, the Sky People may return, will return rather, and well, it will be really interesting to see what would happen with Neytiri and Jake Sully, but honestly, things were kind of like wrapped up. There weren't that many things left. There weren't that many plot threads dangling, and not only that, we had an amazing epic battle at the end that's really hard to like duplicate. Like, where do you go from there? We had this massive battle between beasts and Awa intervening and the Marines, you know, flying with all of their fleet there. It was crazy. So where do you go from here? So yeah, one of the biggest issues that the new movies are going to face is, well, even though it's a sci-fi and technically you can do whatever, the franchise is based on the planet of Pandora. And the Na'vi are not a spacefaring people. So I don't see them leaving Pandora anytime soon. Maybe by the end of the trilogy, if Pandora has been destroyed, yeah, that could be a thing. But for the next 2 or 3 movies, the action will take place in Pandora, that's for sure. And you might say, well, where's the problem with that? Well, when your planet is a character of the narrative, there aren't that many things you can do. Like, you can have a conflict, I guess. You can have like a civil war between the Na'vi. You could have an invasion, which has already been done in the first movie. But I guess you could play around and add a third faction or an evil alien nation coming, you know, to Pandora. But so we have invasion, we have the corruption of the planet, and an arc could be the total destruction of the planet. But honestly, that's about it. Like, the series has focused so much on the environmental and natural aspects that I don't see any other type of movie that doesn't focus on the fate of the planet. And again, what can you do? How many invasions can you have with you know, the human race? I guess you could do a second bigger invasion, but then again, you would follow one of these 3, you know, arcs, the corruption arc and eventually the destruction arc. So I don't know where the series can go from here on. Yes, we can have additional fights and wars with the Sky People, with the humans, but that's about it, really. And the second issue that I wanted to talk about was financial issues, or whether the movie will be successful enough. Because my biggest problem is with Cameron, who is arguably my favorite filmmaker, announcing that he's making like four sequels to this. Not even like one or two, like four. So this is not even going to be like a trilogy. It's going to be like a quintilogy, a pentalogy. Is this even possible? And this is what really has me worried because this has happened multiple times with franchises that studios went a bit too far. They kept thinking about the trilogy. We got to make it a trilogy. And in this case, we got to make it a huge franchise. That the second movie actually underperforms. Like, look at the Fantastic Beasts franchise, right? Like, it spent so much time, setting up like future movies that it wasn't as entertaining itself. And this is my biggest fear. I fear that the second movie, this movie, The Way of the Water, it's gonna be like a stepping stone for the third movie or for the conclusion of this series. And I'm not sure if enough care has been given to let's make this a really fun experience that stands on its own. Because arguably, like The Matrix, for instance, The Matrix was very much alike the Avatar, like a great sci-fi standalone movie that spawned sequels, but you know, there was never a plan for a Matrix 2. It was almost like a complete story on its own. It did leave things a little bit more open with like Neo flying up in the sky, but Avatar is in the worst state because the movie kind of wrapped things nicely. So then you have to reestablish the conflict, which you wouldn't normally have to do in the second movie of an installment. Usually the heavy lifting is done by the first movie, establishing the main conflict and the characters. But no, but now with the first movie being so complete, the second movie is going to have to play the role of the basis for the new franchise. And I don't know if this can do it because people will go with expectations of watching something grandiose and something amazing, spends more time into like building the characters and building the future conflicts, that after people go and watch it, they go out and they're like, wait a second, that was nothing like the first one. It didn't have as much action, or it wasn't, as bombastic. So, see what I mean? I don't know, like thematically, we'll see where it goes. Personally, I would add a third force into the mix, like the Tyranids from the Warhammer 40k universe, or like the Zerglings, something like that, completely evil. And like maybe humans and Navi have to collaborate, or maybe I'd find like an even more advanced civilization from the far future that wants to colonize Pandora for some reason. And again, humans and Navi have to like help each other. But again, I'm not a writer. I'm giving you my thoughts on this because I really want this franchise to be successful, but there are a couple of things that go against it. What do you guys think about these thoughts about the narrative issues that the story may have, or about the fact that maybe this movie will be made to carry the rest of the franchise on its back, and maybe this could end up breaking its back? And here's what I was thinking, like with I wonder how much faith does the studio have on this franchise? Because if the second movie, if The Way of the Water underperforms, I wonder if they're gonna go back and be like, you know what? You're not getting 5 films. You're getting one more film to wrap things up. And depending on how this movie finishes, maybe that will be impossible. And maybe we get another Last Jedi, Rise of Skywalker kind of thing, where the third movie in the trilogy has to wrap things up really quickly because, you know, there's a whole mess. Same thing with the Fantastic Beasts, franchise. This is what I fear. I fear that if you're looking that far into the future of a franchise, maybe at the end of the day, you lose sight of what's important, which is making a movie really successful and really enjoyable. So what do you guys think? Leave your comments below and let me know. Also, for my fan base specifically, would you like to see more of these kind of videos or not? Also, remember to subscribe. Anyway, so I was McMix. I'm a Genshin Impact and anime YouTuber, so if you like any of this stuff, check out my channel and my other works, and I'll see you next time.